What I'm not going to do today is pretend that I am not a work in progress. So, I still have my challenges when it comes to handling criticism because I like to put myself as a high performer. But there's some things that I know I can get better at. And so I've started to implement a few tips and tricks and techniques that will help me get through the process of handling criticism so I don't take it so personally. Because guess what? A lot of times it's not coming from a personal place, it's coming from a place that's going to help you achieve more growth. Hey team, welcome to Everyday Career Coach. I am Career Coach Mo, helping you find the best strategy for your career trajectory. And today it is all about how you can better handle criticism. Because in order for you to have professional growth, there are going to be some times where you are not perfect at everything or that you mess up. And there is going to be some times when someone is going to provide that feedback on why or how you messed up. And so you have to learn how to not take that in and let it ruin your day, ruin your trajectory and within your career, and how you can turn some of those negatives into a positive. So that is what we're going to focus on today, because handling criticism is truly a very needed technique. So what is this video all about? It's basically how you can listen, stay calm, figure out how you're going to respond, how are you going to provide your reply to negative or criticism, and how can you respect and learn from the criticism that sometimes within your career you're going to get. So I think the first thing is, how are you as a listener? A lot of us listen to respond, not listen to understand. And so that is one of the things that I am still working on, but I think I have a good grasp on that, is that when someone is trying to provide constructive feedback or criticism, the first thing I do is I listen fully to what they are saying, and then I take a moment to process what is being said, because sometimes we like to put our own stamp on things or to change around the meanings or the words that someone is trying to say to us, and it's not necessarily that they're trying to come off in that particular way. So I take a moment, I breathe, I listen, I let them finish their sentence, I do not cut them off, and then I try to process what is exactly being said to me. And then I take a moment on what is going to be my response, because usually, that first response that you do kicks off the tone of the rest of that meeting. So if you're coming, guard up, you are a little bit unhappy, aggressive about what is being said to you, that really kind of dictates the rest of that conversation. So I'm very conscious of how do I want that conversation to go, and I'm going to try to come back and project my feedback in a very calm way. Next thing that I always do when I'm trying to handle criticism is I always ask the person, could you provide examples? And I'm not just talking about one example. I'm like, do you have a couple of examples that you can provide where I didn't handle this correctly, or I could have done better in this area? Because examples really help you to not take it personal and for you to recognize that there was some type of issue that you can improve upon. And so sometimes when people are just kind of giving you feedback, just talking, and they don't really connect it to anything, a lot of times you just don't believe it, or you feel like they got it wrong and it wasn't necessarily you. And so you're sitting there, you're listening, but you're not really engaging, and you're not really believing what is being said. So you're like a yeah moment. Let me just get out of this office. And so what you really want to do is always ask the person, well, can you provide some examples so that can solidify what those issues were to you in your mind, and you can actually do a playback and understand, oh yeah, I could have done things differently. Oh yeah, I could have handled things better. Oh, I skipped a step, I messed up a step, or whatever. So that just helps to crystallize everything. So whenever you're getting feedback or criticism, make sure that you ask for some clear examples, more than one if you can. Another thing I like to say is about apologies. So let's say you did mess up or whatever, you realize you messed up, you apologize. But everything isn't about an apology. I like to say I apologize conservatively, meaning if something is blatant, I blatantly did something, missed a step or whatever, I'm going to say, oh, I apologize. I didn't realize I did X, Y, and Z. Or if I just outwardly was just plain wrong, I'm going to sit there and apologize. But there are some people, especially there's a women who apologize profusely for everything. Oh, sorry, 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 sorry. Just saying the word all the time and it doesn't really have any need for an apology or why are you sorry. And I rarely ever hear men always profusely apologizing, sorry, 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 sorry. And so I realized that that could be a trait of a lot of women. That could be a trait for myself as a woman. And so I really recognize that when something deserves an apology, I'm going to apologize. But not everything needs an apology. Some things are just feedback. Some things are just for you to recognize. I was like, oh, okay, got it. I will make sure that I do X differently the next time. Some things don't need an apology. So if you kind of think about back to some of the conversations that you had where you gotten some feedback or some criticism, were you that, apologizer that just was apologizing for everything? The word and, the word they, this small situation, and then you recognize like I'm an apology fanatic. I need to stop doing that. So recognize how to apologize conservatively when it's appropriate and not kind of use it as a crutch to just get you through a conversation. In the midst of getting the feedback or criticism, automatically move your mind to positive talk because whenever someone gets some type of feedback and it's negative or it's not something they want to hear, there's just something bubble up inside of you that is going to get that adrenaline going. You're going to start feeling upset. You might start feeling angry. You might not be the type of person that likes to hear feedback at any time, let alone all the time. And so you have to recognize how you respond to feedback, how you usually respond to criticism. And so you need to start creating some levers to stop that trigger because you're getting triggered when that happens. And so I automatically go to positive talk. I go to saying, this person is not out to get me. This person is not trying to say I'm a bad worker. I automatically go to that. Now there's some people where you're going to have some type of tense relationship with where it's not necessarily genuine feedback or criticism. And so that's going to be a whole nother video I'm going to have where I can help you kind of get through people like that. But when it comes to people who are genuinely just trying to provide feedback or even criticism, warranted criticism, you have to understand that that helps you with growth. That helps you to see things that maybe you were blind to or you didn't understand that you were even doing, or a step you didn't realize that you needed to take and that you missed. And so I always look at it like positive talk, like, okay, this person is trying to set me up for success. So these are the things I need to learn how to do better. And that's the way I try to go into those types of talks. So I am listening or whatever, but when I'm taking that moment to respond, I'm taking a moment to create positive talk so I can create positive energy so that I can respond in a positive way and not automatically think that this is something negative or this person's thinking I'm bad at my job or a failure. So remember to set yourself up with some positive talking points when those triggers kind of happen so that you can put yourself in a better place to accept what that feedback or criticism is, to understand where it's coming from, what you can do better, and then number one, moving on from it. Last not least, just respect the negative criticism. Just respect that someone took the time to try to help you to grow and be better. And that is not something you have to dwell on and think about all day long. It's basically adding something to your list of what you can improve on, because we all have that list where we can do better and be better. So like I said, I'm still a work in progress when it comes to this, but I know I try to figure out ways that I can get better at this, and the things that I just shared in this video are some of the things that I started to implement. It's okay that as a human being, you don't want to hear negative feedback or criticism. But it is not okay to flip the script and pretend that it became something bigger than what it really is. It's not okay for you to carry some type of negativity or hurt or anger about something that's really going to be helpful within your professional development. And it is all about you recognizing that every day you're going to learn something new or something's going to contribute to your growth to be a better professional. And so that's the way you should start looking at it. So I hope those techniques or tips and some story times kind of helped you with how you can handle criticism better. I hope I earned your like today. And if I didn't, you will come back and give me another chance. Please don't forget to hit subscribe. If you have any tips on how you get through criticism or feedback, please remember to share it with this community. I would really appreciate it, and I will join you or see you for the next video.